Happy New Year to everybody. Here I am with my finished Story Girl journal. So grab yourself a cup of tea. I've got some T2 Melbourne breakfast tea, which is so yummy. I would call it a sort of medium strength with a bit of vanilla flavour. Yum yum. So anyway, so I can give you the benefit of my experience straight away because I made this cloth cover, sort of a slow stitch cover for the journal, and I made it before it was quite finished. So it is a bit of a stretch. It doesn't I mean, I should have made it a little bit bigger, perhaps this part a bit bigger. Yeah, so the learning is make your cover. If you're making a cloth cover, do it at the very end, because then you'll know the width of your journal, you know. So we live and learn. And if you want to see how I made this, there's a video in my playlist somewhere. Yeah, so I'm using a sort of very simple closure, which is just a hairband, you know, a hair toggle or whatever you call it, between two mini paper clips. It works really well. But yeah, this cover is very, very simple, and I'll show you on another video, so go and look it up if you want to. Actually, I've just noticed, look, I need to repair it already, and I think that's because of the struggle I had getting it into its cover. But anyway, we're going to go through and I'll do a quick flip through. So we have the contents page. I always give a contents page with my journals. I just like doing that, and it forces me to give them all titles. And here I've just a little statement: my journey through the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, a series of multimedia art pieces from May 2020 to December 2021. And videos for each spread can be viewed on YouTube, beautifully altered. And it says, from the artist, Beautiful Sky, which is me. That's what I call myself. Facebook doesn't like me calling myself that. It locks me out sometimes, but there you go. People who know me know what my real name is. That's just my artistic name. So anyway, I'm not getting into any of that. So I left the opening. This was the original book, because I thought it was really nice just to keep. Oh, let's see if we can get it in focus. There you go. By L.M. Montgomery, author of Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avalon, Chronicles of Avalon, and so on. So she'd written a few things, and I think it actually was a lovely book, although I will admit that I did not read it. I didn't read it all the way through. I just read pages as I went, and I took quite a lot of pages out, so yeah. But it was quite tatty even in the beginning. If you look at my videos, you'll see. So here we are. Here's the first spread. And this one is about the virus breaking out, and it was breaking out all around the world. And through the process of this spread, I realised that we are all in this. And we're all struggling with it. We don't know what it was back then. This is 22nd of March 2020. So yeah. I'm going to put a little pocket in. And this is a little card, which says, thanks very much for all your help in the rescue of Tilly the cat. And there's a little story behind that, because while I was doing this, a cat, we've got outside in my garden, in the corner of my garden, we've got a storm drain, quite a big one, and it's got a grill on the top. And what had happened is a cat had walked up the other end of the pipe, somehow and got itself stuck in there, was mewing, and I'd seen it, and these people were coming around looking for their cat, and they left me their phone number. They'd been round like a couple of days before, and I went outside and I could hear this pitiful mewing, and I saw this cat down there, so I thought to myself, well, maybe it's their one. So I phoned them, and they came out, and it was their cat, and they were able to rescue it. So that was nice, and they came back with some chocolates and a thank you card, so that was good. So that's just a reminder of that little story. So the next spread is sort of, I made a window, and it's all about the world feels dangerous, and it did really at the beginning. It still does a bit, but I think at the beginning it was so much was unknown, and it was, it was romping around the world and everything. So I did this spread. How we feel depends on how we frame things, because I do know from past experiences that when I've been really afraid, it doesn't actually help. It just makes you feel bad. It doesn't do anything. So I said you can turn fear into love, anxiety into action, because if you're anxious, you get all adrenalized. Do something. And danger into challenge. We can call it danger, or we can call it a challenge. And of course, I found some words on the page. We felt a dreadful danger. We felt a dreadful danger, a terrible risk, which was appropriate, wasn't it, for then? So this next spread is all about well-being and topping up your well of well-being. So, and I do that with art, meditation, walks, music, chats with friends, mantra, that's just me, crafts. So that was what this spread turned out to be about. Oh, and a cup of tea. So tea is important at all times, especially slurping it. So anyway, this one, birch wisdom, which is, I used my technique where I put black ink quink on the page, and then I use white gesso and water to do the shading. I just love that technique, and that's what I used on this face. And I found C, which is me, and it says under the birches, so that became birch wisdom. And the birch, traditionally symbolises strength, courage and trust. So I quite like that. Oh yes, this one. Now, this one, they say she was always very full of mischief. Now, I had a lot of difficulty with this one because I think I'm using gouache, and I don't get on with gouache very well. But I had a go, and that's how she turned out. And it's all about being creative and finding freedom through art. Because really, that's what I love about mixed media. You do it how you like, really. And it's good to try different techniques and materials. So the next spread was... Oh yes, I found the words. Well, here we go. Let's get it close. Can you see that? Violets and dandelions. And so that became the theme. And I blanked everything else, and I put surviving through all challenges and difficulties, keep going. So the violet is a symbol of spirituality, apparently. And then this picture here was a painting that I had made before, and I photocopied it and pasted it in, and then I put clear gesso and then painted it over. So that's how I did that one. And this one is quite fun how I did this, because I started with these two strips which came from a New Yorker cover, and then I did my own tree in the middle, and I kind of craftily worked it in so that it looked like it's all part of the same picture. I was really pleased with how this one came out. It was really absorbing as well to do it. Yeah, true wisdom, ability to endure. And I also found beautiful, oh, let's get closer. Beautiful tree. So those words stayed. This one is just a girl. I like drawing girls' faces. She felt small. This one, I can dream. There are flowers. So I cut a window and we can look through and there's flowers. There are always flowers. And I mean that in a metaphorical sense. There's always lovely things in your life, isn't there? No matter how horrible it is, we get distracted and we get focused on the negative, but there is always positive. This one, looking back on everything with gratitude, for it brought me to where I am today. And I can see that I've done some kind of what do you call it, texture there. That's quite fun, and I can't remember how I did that, but if you go to the video you'll see how I did it. I know what I did. I think I put gesso on both pages, squished them together and then open them out, and you get this lovely texture. So that's something to think about. So this next one, May 20, for now I am winter, and these are ginkgo leaves, and these are prints of them. I put some ink on them and I used them to print. I drew the girl, I put the background in and drew the girl. This one is flowers. It's just a doodle really of flowers on flowers on flowers. And this one's another sort of wavy line doodle on here. Whatever is the matter. I'll tell you what the matter is. We had blimmin' COVID going at riot, rampaging through the country. That was what the matter was. But this is a positive one. 8th of June 2020, that New Zealand was COVID free. It's marvellous. We were very lucky. We had a lockdown and all the cases cleared up, and for a while we had no COVID. It didn't last, but for a while we were, which is pretty amazing, and very grateful for that. And I put in my sort of wishes. Oh look, I am grateful that Matthew has recovered from his illness, because my husband had a terrible illness, but he's recovered. I found some work. It wasn't great work, but it was work. We love each other very much. NZ is COVID free, almost. It's interesting. I think it was COVID. Maybe I wrote that just before. We have wonderful friends. I have found a kinder way to be towards myself. Yeah, I've been working on that. I don't know about you, but I haven't always been very kind to myself. But that's changing. And so this is actually eco paper that I made and put in. So that's what that one is. Winter solstice. Oh dear, feeling so worn down today, but I refuse to dwell in shadows. There is always a light that shines from within and it never goes out. So there is what's I've done doodles in her hair. And that's how she looks. Winter solstice. And around the time of the winter solstice in New Zealand, it's called Matariki, and it's a special constellation of 7 stars, and it's called the Seven Sisters in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the same constellation, obviously the other way around, because we're looking at it from one side of the globe. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? But it's to do with that we're on one side of the globe anyway. And in June of the year, you see the Matariki constellation on the horizon just before the sun rises. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because you see it like, you don't see it like this, but you see it like a sort of glint, like a diamond glint, just a glint of the stars as the sun comes up. And people used to, in the old days, the Maori used to watch for that. And that to them would mean, because they knew that when they could see this constellation, the year was turning and we'd be moving from the darkness of winter towards the lighter days of summer. So, yeah. This one was just an experiment with washi tape. And I've made a little sort of couple of phrases. The story girl chose bliss, and we were all glad. The story girl was radiant. It inspired the rest of us to give. It's a little bit strange, but that's what that one's about. That was on the 25th of June 2020. Next one says change of mind. Oops, so a couple of girls. This one is about the lunar moth, which I think is, I'm still obsessed with this. I got a bit obsessed with it then and I had to draw it. I've recently been drawing it again. It's curious. It's just so beautiful. And I think I don't know why, but I felt it represented unseen things. And that's meant to be a caterpillar. That's a rather rubbish looking caterpillar. Have a look at that. Would you call that a caterpillar? Anyway, that's what it's meant to be. And then this is a girl who looks a bit wall-eyed. But sometimes my girls come out like that, and that's all right by me. Here's another one. Believe. And she's holding a little bird. And the mixed media girl. This one is just playing around with pigments, and I think what I did was I had a bit left over, and that's why I put a bit of pigments on. And then I doodled, and then I did neurographics across it just to make that page. This one is my attempt at sketching Nikola Tesla. I saw a picture of him, which I don't have to hand, but he looked so intense in the picture. Amazing picture it was, and I attempted to copy him. And that's what I came up with. He doesn't look so... He looks a bit sort of... I don't know, he looks a bit more friendly in that. Like, you know, like your granddad or something, I don't know. And then anyway, it's the In Quest of Information. I thought was very appropriate for Tesla. Because he was all the time. He was inventing things and trying to work out things. This one is a bumblebee, because I love bumblebees. I always have loved bumblebees. So I did a picture of a bumblebee, and when I looked it up what all the meanings were, it said things like believe in miracles, you are important, be people, value community, mindful service, protector, abundance, persistence, teamwork. So that was that one. This was a curious spread. I did it in layers. I did the first layer, leaving figures and just send the rest out, and then I did another layer which overlapped. You'll have to look on the video, and it came out like this. I think you could have a lot of fun with this, experimenting with this technique, because I was using templates and things, and yeah, but it's all my relations, which is this shamanic blessing, isn't it? They feel connected to everything, you know, and we're connected to the earth and the sun and the people in our lives and the animals. It's a huge big web of life. Oh, here we go. Here's one. This one has been a recent addition, which I haven't videoed, naughty me, but I was using up I drew a face, I didn't like the bottom. So I thought I could throw it away or I could use it somewhere in my book, and I did it here. But basically, I know nothing. I know nothing in the big scheme of things. Anyway, it says, I ain't going mad. I'll tell you what, I nearly did. So, next spread is using a lovely postcard that a friend gave me. Kindest thoughts. And underneath, there's a girl with kind thoughts. That's what that one's for. And here's another one. This has been embellished a little bit off screen, I suppose. I had a few bits and pieces and I just put them in. These are from, you know, when you buy books of stamps and you peel off the airmail stickers. This is the background to that. Oh, sorry, I just bunged it in here. Oh, and this is a bit of film, you know, a bit of the old-fashioned film. So, pocketed thoughts. Made a little pocket here. And, oh look, yep, a little postcard. So this was back in, oh, no date. Well, it must have been around August 2020. I think I went back and did this. Everything's so uncertain. Will things ever go back to normal? It's all too much. I'm scattered and frazzled. And then I've put, just breathe, go slow, all will be well. That's typical what I do in my journaling. I'll put down my anxieties and then I'll think, this is how I can get around it. Then I've got affirmation. Whatever happens, I can handle it. And then, we all want the same things, to be safe, to be healthy, to be loved. That's true, isn't it? We all want the same things. And all of these difficulties is how we all go about getting those things in different ways. So, this is another spread. And this started off as one thing and ended up as another. You'll see it in the video. So I won't go into it too much because this is starting to get long. But that's what that spread is. This is a fold out one. I wanted to do a big wide thing. She fell in love with the mountain. She fell in love with the mountain. And it's like her hair's meant to be a bit like a mountain as well, sort of. Things can change in the twinkling of an eye. Everything must flow. And this is another girl's face. And this. Ribbons are there to remember how I was feeling. So this is like a closed page. Oh yeah, some of it got a bit personal. I can't show you all of it, I'm afraid. So this is how I feel today. This is on the 20th of August. Worried about ever finding a job I enjoy and that pays well. Well, I did. I did find a job, a nice job, and I didn't find it until August. Oh my goodness, when was this? This is August 20. I didn't find it till a year later. Goodness me. But anyway, I have found something and I'm very grateful. Anyway, I'll put that in later. Dreamers of dreams. Oh look. These are like little butterflies. I'll put in there. I think I was going to stick them on. My dreams. Find a great job. I did. Sell more books. Well, I've sold a few. Sell journals. Yes. Make a living from writing. Wow. You've got to have a dream, haven't you? If you don't dream it, how can it happen? And it will happen one day. That will be awesome. Anyway, onto the next spread. This was an interesting one. I did an ink blot like that, and it seemed to make this candelabra kind of look, candlesticks or candelabra. And I was feeling pretty dark, and I was saying I feel afraid, but fear has no usefulness. I think this is a theme that comes through a lot in my work. Be the light and all of that kind of thing. This is a page that got removed, and I haven't done anything with it. I keep thinking I'm going to gesso it out and do something on there, but I haven't got round to it. This is just a girl in a sort of doodly thing. This is 2 pages stuck together with a transparency. Basically, I printed a print of bumblebees onto tracing paper, and it's made this rather nice transparency. And I had some fun and some frustration decorating this edge bit. You'll see it on the video. And this one. This is an extra page. I got an electric bike, so it's a converted. And then I found this picture, so I thought, oh yes, that can go in there. Electric bikes are absolutely fantastic. You can sail on. I live at the top of a hill, and yeah, it used to be a real struggle. I actually had to push it. It was that steep to get up there. Actually, I'm not very fit, so that's, yeah. I had to push it up the hill. But now I can cycle up with a bit of assist from my electric bike. Yeah, so this is, oh yes, I was inspired by this picture. It's an old vintage picture of a little girl. Oh, it's having trouble with that, isn't it? There she is. And she was beautiful with a wild, mystic loveliness. So I left that there. I don't know who she was, but I tried to draw her there. Not very well, but I enjoyed doing this spread very much. And I made a little pocket for her to sit in with rose petals and flower petals. So yeah. Next one. Oh, it was coming to well, it was the 1st of January 21. And so I was thinking about New Year's wishes and resolutions, and so may 2021 be kind to us all, I put on there. And of course I had a little hidden page, which I can't show you all of it. I did a little, that was using a pen and a fountain pen and water technique, which is by my friend Jill, and I can put a link to her video if I remember. I'll put a link in the comments underneath. And I put a few things down, but some of them are so personal I can't tell you. But I wish to build my website business was one thing. To love and be loved more, which is nice, isn't it? But and I did build my website business. It's going, but it's on hold now because I've got this other job. So the next spread, yeah, is a bit of a shadowy one. Time for grief. Tell the truth. It's like we go along, and when people ask us how are you, we say, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, but when really we're not. Funny, isn't it? But it's like we don't want to burden people, which is good. I mean, it's fair enough, but sometimes with friends and with people you know well, or maybe there's just a way of saying it where you don't burden them. You sort of say, well, it's not the best of days, but I'm sure I'll get through it. Do you know what I mean? You can still be authentic, can't you? Anyway, that came out of that. This one is because I have been doing tags with slow stitching, which is fabulous. I made a little tag in a little pocket, a tag in a tag, and on the back it says slow stitching keeps me sane. And I was really enjoying this project, and I kept up with it for most of the year, and then towards Christmas things started getting really busy and I sort of fell off a bit, but I did really enjoy it, and I'm going to finish it, I think. Or at least I'm going to make something with the tags that I did do, if you see what I mean. Not this one, this is an extra one. But basically, things like slow stitching helped me to get through this COVID thing, and I felt that I was coming through it then. That's March 21. This is a sellotape transfer that didn't work too well, and this one is interwoven, so this was where I cut strips, and then I got another bit of paper, and I got lots of different papers, that's right. There's a video all about this if you want to try it. It's very easy, and it gives quite a nice effect, and there's different ways you can use it. I quite like the way it sort of jumbled up that face on that side. This is another sellotape transfer which worked a little bit better on that one, and this is, I remember this actually because I think my computer was on a glitch, and something went wrong with the filming. Curiously, look, I've got COVID vaccination booked. Things are looking up. And I remember in New Zealand we couldn't get vaccinations for a long time, and it was to do with supply, because I think that we had booked it all, you know, and ordered it, if you like, and we'd been bumped by other countries. Don't quote me on that because I don't know how official that is, but I saw it in the news and then I didn't see it again, so maybe it's not very politically correct to say we were bumped, but for whatever reason we couldn't get the supply, so vaccination didn't happen as soon as it could have happened, but it did happen, obviously. Now this spread is fun. I made a little pocket, and I made a little card. If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, and that's by Ricky Gervais. He's a funny man, and he's right. Just laugh. The silly human condition that we're in. And yes, so this is my silly puppet that I made. Again, I got a video showing you how to do this. Hello. I'm a rather mad woman, and I belong in this journal. So, yes. And then this is just basically covering the mechanics of it with a postcard, just for neatness, really. This one is a sort of hidden pocket. So you put two pages together, you cut a slit, and it goes in the space between, if you see what I mean, and the pages get stuck together. But this is when I had my second jab. So let's look. So that was, yeah, I got a bit sporadic, didn't I? Look, July, and then September. This is round about when I got my job. So obviously I was handling a new job, and so hence I didn't have a lot of time for art, but I got back to it, and I wanted to commemorate getting my second jab, because that was quite a milestone, you know. This is wallpaper, by the way. And so we're on to the final spread, which you must have seen, or maybe you didn't. This is inspired by Tom Phillips, the artist, and he's going to be my inspiration for my next altered book. So it was, again, it is the end of this story, and it has some good bits, like It isn't mysterious any longer. And if you think about COVID, that's true. We know all about it. We certainly do know more than we did. By this time, the bad must have all gone out of it. Well, not quite, but we can wish. And the tale was ended. And then I just circled the moon because I wanted to put the moon in it. And this is meant to be opening to blue skies, away from the darkness. And this is just a beautiful passage I rather enjoyed. And what a lovely book this has been. I've really enjoyed this book. As I say, we've come to the end now. Oh, and yes, it'll always be a reminder of those times, but more than that, it was a it helped me process all the things that were going on. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching me create this book and talking through it. And do subscribe and follow and like and share. I'll be doing more videos. I'll be doing, like I say, I'll be doing a new altered book that I intend to show you as I go through. And I've got this new camera, so, well, hey, we'll see what happens. So stay safe and happy and keep on arting. And I'll see you again. Thanks for watching. And thanks for all your comments. Bye for now.